The Darius Garland saga has become more complicated than ever. Remember when everyone believed the Cavaliers had the Eastern Conference under control? After an impressive 64-18 record last season, Cleveland seemed unbeatable. Now, in January 2026, they're 21-17, caught in that awkward, almost mediocre zone that makes executives nervous and fuels trade rumors that spread quickly. At the center of it all is Darius Garland, the supposed leader of the team. However, his situation is becoming increasingly complicated, though not in the way casual fans might assume. Before diving into the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's start with the obvious problem. Literally, Darius Garland had left toe surgery back in June 2025. On paper, it might sound minor, but it turned into a season-altering hiccup. He missed the first 7 games of the season, and when he finally returned in early December, he re-aggravated the same toe, forcing him to sit out yet again. By January 5th, he had played in only 3 of Cleveland's first 16 games. That kind of slow-motion comeback isn't just frustrating, it kills rhythm and builds doubt, both for the player and the team. But here's where it gets interesting. Over his last 10 games, Garland is averaging 18.7 points and 7.7 assists, with a ridiculous 48-42-96 shooting split. You can actually see him slowly unlocking his game, like turning a key that's been stuck for months. A perfect example came on January 6th against Indiana, when he looked in full control, making plays that reminded everyone why he's the guy running the show in Cleveland. On January 6, 2026, the Cavs were down 9 in the fourth quarter against the Pacers, and Donovan Mitchell was resting. All eyes turned to Garland. He took over completely, scoring 14 of his 29 points in that quarter alone, going a perfect 7 for 7 from the field. By the end, he finished 14 for 23, leading Cleveland back against a Pacers team that was on a 13-game losing streak and sitting at 6-31. The moment that really stood out came with 12.5 seconds left. A tough, contested pull-up from the free throw line that put the Cavs up 117-114. Fans watching knew instantly, this is why we traded for him. Even Coach Kenny Atkinson called it a takeover DG from last year. Garland wasn't lucky that night. He was in full command. But here's the thing, this doesn't erase the struggles earlier in the season. Before this game, Garland had been shaky in clutch moments, going just 10 for 23 with 5 turnovers. This wasn't a story about him suddenly being unstoppable. Look at what just happened with Trae Young, a 4-time All-Star, a proven scorer, a franchise name for years in Atlanta, and the Hawks still had to trade him at his lowest value. The return? CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. That's it. No star, no war chest of picks. In fact, some league insiders believe Washington won the deal. Why? Money in defense. Trae was owed $46 million a year, came with defensive limitations, and Atlanta had to add draft picks just to move the contract. That's the reality of today's NBA. Now put Darius Garland in that same frame. Garland makes $39.4 million this season. That number jumps to $42.2 million next year, then $44.9 million in 2027 to 2028. He's a 2-time All-Star, still only 25. But he carries similar defensive concerns, and now real injury questions. So what's his actual trade value? The Kings have reportedly tried multiple times to get him. Cleveland has said no every time. But the Trae Young deal changed the math. If Atlanta couldn't cash in on a 4-time All-Star, what makes Cleveland think they'd get full value for Garland if they ever had to move him? This isn't speculation. This is front office reality. In a capped-out league, flexibility matters more than name recognition. And a $42+ million guard with health questions can flip from cornerstone to risk faster than teams want to admit. That's the pressure Cleveland is feeling right now. This is where the rumors drift into fantasy. The idea making the rounds is that Cleveland could trade Darius Garland, and maybe Jarrett Allen, to cap space teams like Brooklyn or Utah, just to clear room for one big move: signing LeBron James. Yes, LeBron. He's 41 now. He started his career in Cleveland, and delivered the 2016 title that still defines the franchise. But the basketball logic doesn't hold up. This version of LeBron isn't the two-way engine who carried a team to a championship. He's still productive, still smart, still impactful, but he's no longer someone you reshape an entire roster around.
Another 30-point game tonight, his 5th of the season. LeBron from distance, string music, yes sir!
But maybe the real issue isn't trades, it's fit. Two ball-dominant guards, Garland and Mitchell, can coexist in today's NBA. Teams do it all the time, but it takes crystal-clear roles, and the Cavs haven't fully figured that out. Mitchell is their lead guy, and he should be, but when Garland's healthy and aggressive, the offense can get messy. Last season, when Garland was healthy, he was one of the league's elite clutch performers, shooting .53, 4/.450, /.865. This season, that's flipped. He's struggled in clutch moments, until the Pacers game, which was more about hitting easy shots than showing elite skill. Here's the tricky part. Garland's defense has been a real problem this season. On a team that's already struggled defensively, he's not making up for it offensively the way he did last year. When he was playing 32 to 36 minutes per night last season, his offense covered for his weaknesses. This year, with limited minutes and an injury setback, that trade-off isn't working. So it's not as simple as saying, he's healthy now, problem solved. He needs to be fully healthy, in rhythm, and actually executing on defense. That's a three-part equation, and the Cavs haven't hit two of those at the same time yet. The trade deadline is February 6th. Cleveland's sitting at 21-17. Not bad, but not championship level either. They're 8 games back of the second seed, so playoff positioning is still up for grabs. If Garland keeps up his recent form, 18.7 PPG, nearly 8 APG, and stays healthy, all this trade talk disappears. Cleveland becomes a real threat, and everyone moves on. Right now, the Cavs are betting everything on one thing: Garland's health. That single variable could make or break their season. It's not the most sustainable approach for a championship team, but it's the choice they've made by holding firm on the core four. The Darius Garland situation isn't complicated because it's dramatic. It's complicated because it's uncertain. And in January, with everything still on the table, that uncertainty is exactly what makes it fascinating to watch. And that's where the Darius Garland saga stands. Messy, unpredictable, and still very much unresolved. One healthy streak, one injury, one trade rumor. It could all change overnight. The Cavs' season, and Garland's legacy in Cleveland, might just ride on this delicate balance. What do you think? Can Garland stay consistent and lead this team? Or are the trade rumors closer to reality than we realize? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your take. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates on the Cavs, Darius Garland, or all the biggest stories around the NBA.